Part 70. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 693. Ask each other 6 or 9. The next day, the devil's main city, a luxurious but deserted palace. Exquisite patterns are carved on the white stone, the noble furniture shows the extraordinary here, and a long red carpet leads to the deep place. Xianxia sat on the floor near the table, staring blankly under the huge window, the back bathed in the sun. Sun, that's the sun, and the sun shining high outside is really the sun. But Chen Li had no joy at all, she seemed to have a nightmare. She soared, but she was greeted by a three-eyed demon, especially the elders. When the magic eyes opened, she could not use any magic power. I am the god of God. But in the eyes of the devil elders, there was no power at all. Fortunately, she is a painting. Fortunately, she cannot bear children, otherwise she doesn't know what miserable fate is waiting for herself. She saw with her own eyes that there were also human women who were flying up and being dragged away and sent into iron cages. It was definitely not a good thing to wait for them. Yekong, what you said is true. She suddenly understood Yekong's words, all of it, but it was too late. She can't look back. But even if she does it again, she will come up because she has a purpose here. You're back. Okay. Don't worry, my name is Lu Junro. The woman standing by the window, Ying, came over. This woman is so beautiful that she can't even compare herself. And she is so noble, it makes people look up. Lichandi has never seen such a noble woman in her life. Most importantly, this woman has beautiful lilac eyes. Shadow Clan? Seniors. Li Chenming then remembered her name, you're Lu Junro. Senior, you say you're Lu Junro. Li Chenai's eyes widened. She has been to the people realm of the Shadow Clan, and has heard of this famous name, but in the Shadow Clan, there is a godlike existence. Why, am I famous? Lu Junro smiled and lifted up Li Chenaiu. Are you really Lu Junro? Li Chenzhen couldn't believe it. Although she is an idol in the heart of thousands of girls in Taihua realm, Lu Junro is the idol of all the film clan and all the Yunyeo people. The two sides are not a grade at all. After receiving the answer from Lu Junro, Li Qingxu was startled. Senior Lu, all the people in Yunyeo worship you, and all the Shadow Clan people have your statue at home. They are legendary, saying that your existence only blessed the Shadow Clan and blessed the Cloud Remote. Lu Junro smiled bitterly. Maybe no one knew how much she had paid for it, but it made the Shadow Clan's young people feel safe, and she felt it was worth it. Senior Lu, let me ask you a person, a Shadow Clan man, who flew here 1,000 years ago. His name is Liang Zheng. Lu Junro waved his hand and said, I have been here for 150,000 years, and I haven't seen a Shadow Clan in the middle. If you ask people and events 150,000 years ago, maybe I can still answer you. Li Chenai was speechless. Hearing Lu Junro again said, and the Moza people promised me that they would not let the Shadow people come here to be slaves, so the person you want to inquire about is either flying up to the immortal world or not flying up at all. Li Chenai seemed to be struck by a thunderbolt, but came here with his own life, but got this answer. He lied to me. Li Chenxi spit out 3 words in despair. When her pain was just depressed, she suddenly heard Lu Junro saying, well, now it's time for me to ask you. You seemed to say Yekong just now. I don't know if I know Yekong? Did he arrive at Yunyeo? Is he okay? Li Chenai was shocked. When she saw the strange tenderness in Lu Junro's eyes, she was shocked and didn't know what to say. God. Is that mortal Yekong who has not cultivated? What the is going on? Even the goddess of the Shadow Clan has great affection for him. Could he be a fairy? At this moment, Yekong Xiao Aocian is still at ease, practicing martial arts every morning, drinking at the 5th floor of the oral and abdominal building at noon, going to the Mozong in the afternoon to see the betting ratio, and going back to the cave to tease Xianxia at night, as if he did not let the contest a few days later in my heart. These days, Yekong should not take medicine anymore. All his internal and external injuries are all well. However, he still asked Xianxia to refining a few furnaces of elixir in preparation for the test in case of injury. Because Huang Shishi knew that he was afraid, so the bet behind Ye's name was not added. He did nt add it. Lin Jixing and Zheng Tianshun also slowed down. They were retail investors, dozens of hundreds of spirits. Just stone. At the same time, those other players also have some spirits behind them. After all, everyone wants to beat big. In addition to Lin Jixing, Zheng Tianshun, Yekong, the three giants, and Xiaoqianzui, there are also thousands of spirit stones behind. However, no one took this person to heart. There are tens of millions of spirit stones behind the three giants, and your thousands of spirit stones are just a fraction of the odd ones. And this Xiaoqian drunk has no name, and his appearance is weaker than Yekong. Who cares about him? Yekazi, there are 18 people who want to buy your news today. If you pay 540 spirit stones, their purchase application will be invalid. As soon as Yekong stepped out of the betting station, Huang Guangshan followed. As a customer, Yekong has this right, but if you want the market demons not to sell news, you have to pay the same amount of money. Sell it to them, my dear. I can be poor now, how can there be a spiritual stone for you? Yekong said with a big grin. The point is that his own intelligence has no secrets at all, and those who ask him for information are purely for nothing. Okay, Huang Guangshan responded quickly. Yekong asked again, Huang Guangshan, do you want to earn a spiritual stone? You just want to bet on me. In order to show fairness, the disciple of Mozong in the city is not allowed to participate in the gambling game in his own court. Huang Guangshan said respectfully, but I was thinking, I don't have so many spirit stones thrown into the water, it is better to bet you Lin Jixing too. Then I'll go back. Yekong had just stepped out of the door, who knew he had met an acquaintance again. The boss of the mouth and belly, Lin Zishan, brought his son Lin Jinwei to the other door of the casino. Oh, what a coincidence, brother. Yeah, you also come to bet. Who is the bet? Lin Zishan laughed and came up. Yekong laughed. Of course I bet myself, how can I bet others? Lin 11 was embarrassed in the sky, and immediately laughed, patted his big belly, and laughed, haha, look at my memory, I just gave you hundreds of thousands of dollars just now, you must win. Lin Jinwei was afraid of Yekong's unbelief, and quickly added, yeah, I was still worried at the time. But my dad said that everyone was so close, knowing that he would have to hold Yekazi. Install, try hard. Yekong is very clear, except for himself and Huang Shishi, there is no spirit stone to hold him, hundreds of thousands. Do not have dozens of pieces. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 694. Competition starts on June 9, 1994. Yekong laughed, yeah. Thank you for your support. But if Ye wins, the two will earn a lot of money, but don't forget to go down. Lin Zishan laughed, how could you forget, brother? Yeah, you won, and I'll let you take someone to my store for a month. Okay. It's a matter of words, Ye once again put on Lin Zishan, and went away happily. His figure just disappeared. Lin Jinwei said quickly, Daddy, how can you promise him that way? If he really wins, wouldn't we lose our wife and lose our soldiers? If we lose Lingxi, we have to let him eat one for nothing. Month. Lin Zishan smiled and asked, son, do you think he can win? Lin Jinwei laughed. If you hook a woman, I think he will win. The two laughed at the same time. Yekong returned to Yan Mansion. As soon as he entered the door, a report was made, saying that Yan Fenjiun had invited him. In fact, Yan Fenjiun also told him about the game. The old Yan family felt that the game was really uncertain and dangerous, and they wanted Yekong not to go. Of course, more importantly, they don't want Yekong to join the Iron-Armed Demon sect, they want Yekong to stay in Yan family, inherit Yan family business, and rely on Yekong's magical Danfang to bring Yan Jiadon. The pharmaceutical business is growing, and Yan Shuai is really married, and the old couple are happy. How could Yekong promise? The skill of the Iron-Armed Demon is that he must get, and after regaining his power, he has to go to Wanjian Demon, and also to the Shadow People realm, and he has to find his way back. It is best to find some super flying the material of the sword, as well as the golden fruit that gives mortals a spiritual root. In short, he has a lot of things and will never stay. The old couple of the Yan family were helpless, after all, they had asked others to help them, and they were just married, so now they can't just hang on to them. But Wu Xiaoling finally said, Yekong, we know you are a good boy, and we will never be willing to stay in the iron painting realm, but we hope you don't get too close to Shu Hui, let her die early, otherwise you leave how uncomfortable she should be. Yekong stunned, no, she didn't want me to hurry up. No, we quarrel every day, she can't fight me every time, she hates me. Wu Xiaoling sighed, my daughter's thoughts, I know, can't be wrong. Yekong walked out of the hall, not quite convinced in his heart, how could Yan Shuai be interesting to himself? Well, it's better to ignore her with or without it, otherwise leaving love debts is not over. He just thought so, but when he went out, he just met Yan Shuai. Yekong, Yan Shuai walked over with her big sleeves, and raised her hand, but she was full of a bottle of elixir. I'm not saying it's enough, don't you need to refine it again, Yekong didn't answer. Yan Shuai said angrily, you are going to compete tomorrow. You are well prepared. Also, you are not good at using storage bags. I bought you a belt bag and you throw it away. Yan Shuai smashed the thing over, turned her head and ran away, leaving Yekong to hold the thing in a bun. Yan Shuai, you treat me so well, don't you think of me, someone quickly followed. Go to death. I want you to win. Hurry up to Iron-Armed Demon, so that this girl can never be oppressed by you. Yekong was a little dubious when she heard her say this, and smiled, this is the best. In fact, I don't understand compassion and love Jade, and I have a bad temper, and I am very caring and selfish. Yan Shuai added, it's so indecent. Enan, yes, it's still indecent, insignificant, despicable, it's not as good as a beast, not as a pig. Yan Shuai laughed, don't make me laugh, rest assured, I just like any other man, and I won't like you. You quickly get victory and get away. I don't know why, Yekong felt sour when he heard the sentence. I don't like any man like me, hey, forget it, maybe this is the best answer. That's the best. Well, I'll go out and buy some yellow paper. You don't have to go with it, oh, thank you for your pockets, very chic. Yekong suppressed his depression and walked away. In the evening's courtyard, only Yan Shuai was left standing quietly, watching Yekong's disappearing small round door for a long time without moving. The next day, the highly anticipated Iron-Armed Demon Zone competition began, and the entire iron painting scene was a sensation. On this day, all the shops were closed and none were sold earlier. Those who wanted to buy a bun to see the lively people complained. However, the sales of buns were very good. Don't say you, even Lao Tzu himself didn't eat it. Knowing that I want to play today, I was so excited that I couldn't do anything. Everyone flocked to Iron-Armed Demon, it doesn't matter if there is no ticket, Iron-Armed Demon lays large LED displays in several squares under the mountain, wrong, it is a large development array method, so that those who have no tickets can be outside watch. At the foot of the mountain, there are crowds of people, all people are empty, and the top is not so loose, all people. Outsiders in iron arms cannot fly, so a large number of monks follow the crowd. The three members of the Yan family belonged to the Ticket family, and followed the crowd toward Datongta. On the way, Xianxia listened to someone saying, "How about, have you been taken?" A male duck laughed and said, "Of course I bet. Yakaza gave us a red envelope, can you please? Without telling you, I bet my only weapon." The former man laughed and laughed, "It's the same, me too, I stole my wife's weapon and bet it, after that, I asked who did you buy? Tianshun. Of course it is Lin Jixing. They are our iron painting realm, and they are also the nephew of the iron arm demon sect Lin Weiming. For the sake of reason, I have to put Lin Jixing in public and private. Yeah, you can't go to Okinawa." Xianxia was furious, "Why can't Yakang? He isn't our man in iron painting too." The male duck knows that this is Yekong's wife, and when she sees the beauty, she laughs quickly, "Of course you can't hold him. Girl, you don't know, Yekong's cowardly bag is useless, he has a fart ability. His greatest ability the thing is to lie on a woman's belly to learn sheep calling." Slap, a slap fan dazzled the male duck. "Girl, you, why did you hit me?" Immediately someone whispered, "That's Yekong's wife." The male duck is just a real person who builds a base. Looking at Yan Fenjian behind Xianxia, he can only eat dumb, and snorted away, "You just wait for the last name of Ye to lose." In fact, most of the people in the iron painting world chose Lin Jixing, and there are many who are optimistic about Zheng Tianshun. As for Yekong, everyone knows that he is a who only knows to lie to women. Who has more spirit stones to throw into the water? To the reader. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 695. The first level of 695. On the VIP table, Huang Shishi watched the crowd in a daze. To be honest, she also has no confidence in Yemao. When it comes to head, weight, and thick arms, Yekong is not his opponent. Isn't it just the competition between the worlds? The immortal is compared with the spiritual power and the magical instrument, but the person without the spiritual power is the strength. Yekong is not a powerful person in any way. Well, I'm really dizzy, Huang Shishi could not help but sigh. At this time, Zi Yanlong took a few people to the VIP table, and smiled and introduced, Zong, introduced to you, this is Zheng Aishin of Sojits, and Zheng Tianshun of this game is his. Love your grandchildren. Huang Shishi stood up and laughed, it's been a long time, I'll wait for the king of Zheng Ao to wait for my impact on the realm of God. Zheng Ao humbly said, where, I have also been a god of God for a long time. The so-called god of God is focused on comprehension. Zi Yanlong laughed, I thought that when I entered the world 3 times, and experienced 3 reincarnations of ordinary people, this succeeded. Zheng Ao laughed, in fact, I am not much better than you. The key is that I accidentally got a 9th fruit. After eating it, I experienced the reincarnation of the 9th in a dream. This is the only way to succeed. My 3rd life has 6 more reincarnations. Haha, everyone laughed. However, they couldn't help asking questions like Zhu Shizhou, especially Huang Shishi who was not deified, and several elders of Iron Arm Demon. Huang Shishi asked, I heard that the 9 fruits is only available in the 5 elements Xianfu in Kangming. Could the seniors have found the 5 elements Xianfu? Zheng Ao shook his head and said, I do NT have that blessing. Where did I get the 9th fruit? I do NT know. One day I met a seriously wounded monk, the great consummate monk. The guy screamed devil and devil. And then died. I flipped through his storage ring and saw the 9 fruits. That was the case. Everyone couldn't help but admire Zheng Ao's good luck. How could they not meet such a good thing? After everyone sat down in turn, they naturally talked about the contest, and Zi Yanlong laughed, 3 of you each have support, it's still me, I'm neutral. The 3 he said were Zheng Ao, Lin Weiming, and Huang Shishi. Zheng Ao supported his grandson, Lin Weiming supported his nephew, but they did not understand. Who did Huang Shishi support? Zi Yanlong laughed, I heard that there is a female wealthy behind Ecchi, who is supporting him. In addition to the wealthy picture voice magic sect, I really can't think of other women in this realm who have such financial resources. Zi Yanlong made it clear, Huang Shishi's face turned red. The relationship between her and Yekong is really not the same, but she is also the master of a case, and she will not lose her face. She admitted at the moment, indeed, that day, I saw that Yedake was too few spiritual stones. I just supported it. You all have the support of true kings and gods, and no one else. This is not fair. Everyone despise, isn't it fair? There is also no spirit bet behind thousands of people. Why don't you support it? Zi Yanlong said that the VIP seat was a bit embarrassing at once. Everyone had already lost their money this time. Who wouldn't want to lose? So the relationship between the 3 was immediately opposed. As a host, Zi Yanlong still has to be polite and laughs, the key is to look at the ability of their players. We just encourage them and cheer up. It doesn't matter who wins or loses. But, rest assured, the 1,272 players below, our Iron Arm Demon are completely fair to them. The 3 then said haha, yeah, it's not that important. But all 3 are muttering in their hearts, it's not that important, it's easy for you to say. If you next tens of millions of spirit stones, I am afraid that is not the case. After everyone was all settled down, the court suddenly calmed down. Zi Yanlong stepped out of the VIP seat and made a teleportation, standing in the middle of a wide contest platform. Dear everyone, thank you for coming to the Iron Arm Demon sect. I would like to extend my heartfelt welcome and thanks to you. Zi Yanlong made a 4-way ceremony and continued, this time, the disciples who received the sect have created a new high over the years. A total of 1,272 players signed up. According to the review, they are all mundane mortals. If there is a practice, it is also below the middle of gas refining. The rules of this general assessment are as follows. Zi Yanlong said for a long time, 1 2 3 4, and he sang only when everyone was listening. The test is divided into 2 stages, and we will begin our first pass assessment immediately. After Zi Yanlong said, he shouted, please play. Suddenly, the white jade floor cracked open and slowly rose to a huge array. Some disciples ran over and laid down some spirit stones. The array lit, and a huge 3-dimensional screen appeared. Zi Yanlong said, in the past, the first test of this disciple was using the Iron Man, but in view of the large number of contestants selected this time, this decision decided to put the first test in the animal kingdom held. All the audience was amazed. The beast hunting realm is also one of Yunyao's 8,000 realms. There are no people in the territory. Some are only spiritual beasts. They have all kinds of spiritual beasts. Even the beast master will appear from time to time. At first, many people also wanted to go there to survive and reproduce, and to open schools. However, after some investigation, I found that there was a chaos in that place, which was not suitable for monks to live in. Instead, many kinds of spirit beasts could be born. So there are several powerful sects who occupy it there, forbid humans to enter, and let various spirit beasts grow freely, and these sects regularly go in to capture spirit beasts, or use them for sale, or sell them. Gradually people call them there. For the beast realm. Putting the first match in the beast world is something most people don't expect. After all, it is still a few people who are willing to buy flowers from Shijing Mozong, and those viewers will naturally not get the news. But everyone was worried again. Going to the animal hunting competition was too dangerous. There are spirit beasts at all levels, even in the middle, upper, and upper levels. Even ordinary monks who enter the Dandan Cant retreat from the whole body. If they meet the beast master, a monk of the infant babies can only escape. However, Zi Yanlong also said, don't worry about their safety. This time, we chose a special area. Only low-order spirit beasts will appear in the area, and no high-order spirit beasts will appear. So the worry is redundant. The rules of the game are like this: as long as all the players can safely cross the Grand Canyon in the area and reach the opposite portal, they will be successfully promoted. In particular, no flying means are allowed. Of course, during the game, they can also be interrupted at any time. As long as you break the jade charm in your hand, it will be teleported back immediately, but in that case, it will be eliminated. Okay, now try and start. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 696. 696 Spirit Beast Canyon. After Zi Yanlong finished speaking, he flew back to the VIP seat and sat down. At the same time, the huge screen shows the situation of everyone in the beast world. I saw that more than 1,200 players were in chaos. Many of these players watched the Iron Arm Demon not wanting to sign up for the fee this time, and wanted to come in and start charging, but watching the countless ferocious spirit beasts in the canyon, they were fainted. I saw those players crowding and pushing people, one by one, and the female players were so scared that they cried. The audience laughed. If you do not want to participate, you can shatter the jade charm in your hand at any time and it will be instantly returned to the venue. Please don't force your life and cherish your life. With the sound of the sound, hundreds of players came back immediately. These uncertainties passed back, and the chaos over there immediately disappeared. The rest are those who have a certain strength and want to really join the Iron Arm Demon. If you want to pass the first level, you have to pass through thousands of wild beasts. Soon, everyone saw that one of the players was ahead and rushed down the canyon. It's Zheng Tianshun, all the audience exclaimed. Facing the fierce beasts, it takes courage to rush down first. All the audience applauded and had to say that Zheng Tianshun was indeed a warrior. Seeing that his great-grandson had such a long face for himself, Zheng Ao opened his arms and cursed, "This kid is reckless." In fact, he was scolding, but he was very happy. Are there any kind of people in the old Zheng family? Lin Weiming sneered in his heart, arrogant, was the first one to rush down to attract the beast? There are more spirit beasts than who comes first, rather than killing. Only courageous. But he still laughed, that's not reckless, that's courage. My family Ji Xing really needs to learn from Zheng Tianshun. Zheng proudly laughed, everywhere, Elder Lin has won prizes. In fact, Tianshun is a kid who always likes to kill spirit beasts. If he kills too many, it doesn't matter. As Zheng Tianshun took the lead, all the spirit beasts suddenly surged up and surrounded Zheng Tianshun. The spirit beasts surrounded Zheng Tianshun. A very wide vacuum ground suddenly appeared in the canyon. All the players behind were overjoyed. They spread their legs and ran down. They wanted to attract the spirit beast by Zheng Tianshun. They could rush over. But when they rushed past Zheng Tianshun not far away, more spirit beasts surrounded them. Although they were all low-level spirit beasts, they were all very fierce. Come up. All players hurriedly took out their weapons to fight. The most unfortunate was a female player. When she saw so many beasts, she was fainted and stunned. Even before the jade charm was broken, she was torn by several beasts. Seeing this scene, the players and the audience were shocked, which made them understand that this is not a game, it is dangerous. Very likely, you will die here. All the players went crazy to kill the spirit beast. As long as you kill them, you can reach the other side of victory. Kill. Kill kill. His eyes turned to Zheng Tianshun. I saw that his double-day Hekankan had already shot, Boom, a boxing shot, a metal beast was knocked down and flew out. Boom was another punch, and the iron cow head that could not be cut with a knife was hit and ground was smashed. His footwork was steady, his face was dignified, every step was so stable, every punch was so fierce, one punch was a punch, it was not fancy, but it was so practical, every punch went down, there was one the spirit beast fell to the ground, it was a unilateral slaughter. Although Zheng Tianxun is not a man of iron painting, but he is so brave, he still has the respect of all the audiences, such as the applause of thunder and the sound of cheers. Everyone admires the warrior. Of course, many monks who voted for Lin Zhixing regretted it. Why didn't they vote for Zheng Tianxun at the beginning? Just thinking about Lin Zhixing appeared. After Zheng Tianxun attracted some spirit beasts and a large number of players attracted another batch of spirit beasts, Lin Zhixing finally appeared. The situation is very favorable for Lin Zhixing. There are only a lot of scattered spirit beasts on the field. He waved his black and red arms, and as he moved forward, he started to deal with those fallen spirit beasts. Although the spirit beast he killed was not Zheng Tianxun, but he came first and rushed to the first place. Wah was applause again. There are also a lot of betting monks shouting, Lin Zhixing. Lin Zhixing. Indeed, no matter how brave Zheng Tianxun was, after all, it was Lin Zhixing who stood at the first place. This kid is, oh, so clever, I have criticized him many times. This time I changed Lin Weiming and cursed, of course, this curse was quoted. Zheng Ao laughed, elders and your nephews are also very good. They are brave and motivated, and they are fast, and they are indeed the best stars among people. Don't dare to be, Lin Weiming became more happy with a red face. The players supported by these two have performed well, and they can't help but tease Huang Shishi. Mr. Huang, you can see Ecchi. Why didn't I find it? Zheng Ao asked with concern. Lin Weiming also cared, yeah, Dake will not be dizzy. Huang Shishi blushed and did not answer. It wasn't that she didn't want to answer, or that she didn't see Yekong, but she didn't say anything. She had seen somebody for a long time, and saw the boy slowly walking down the canyon, touching the flowers and mowing the grass, or else she grabbed a cactus and looked at it, wondering what the boy was doing. In fact, Yekong came to this place and felt that there was some metallic aura in the air. This was something he had never felt anywhere else, although there was not much metallic aura here, but more than any place he had been to before. If it weren't for the game, he would definitely sit down and try to absorb the metallic aura. But it is obviously impossible. This place was not where he wanted to come, and the amount of metallicity was really scarce. He meditated for 10 or 8 years, and he didn't know if he needed enough spiritual power cyclone. Of course, if it doesn't work, then you have to find a way to meditate here. However, he still wanted to study where the metallic aura came from, and it was because of these strange flowers. Therefore, someone walks forward without delay. Although Yekong is unobtrusive, if he actively seeks out, he can still find it. Zi Yanlong was the first to find Yekong, stretched out his fingers, and smiled, isn't that our great talent? The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 697. A gardener who is laid back. Looked at Zi Yanlong's fingers. Everyone saw someone leisurely. I saw him walking slowly, picking a small flower on the roadside, smelling it under his nose, picking up a leaf again, and taking a closer look. Zheng Aaron stunned, blinked a few times, and asked blankly, is this what you said about Yayuke? But, what is he doing? Lin Weiming laughed, Ye is a very talented man, and he is curious about everything. I guess he is interested in these flowers and plants and wants to change his career as a gardener. His words were ironic, and everyone laughed. Another elder sneered more directly, Mr. Huang, you can save even the gardener after you paint the magic. Huang Shishi's face flushed with anger, How could she hate someone for not even exerting force? Really, she lost her money and lost her. However, since she supports Yekong, she does not have the ambition of others to destroy her prestige. Even if Yekong is useless, she still has to support it. So she left, but the game has just started, and you can't see any famous people. Yekong is still warming up. Then let's wait for him to finish warming up. Let's really look forward to it. Lin Weiming's words drew everyone to laugh again. Everyone is thinking, warm up slowly, it is best to finish the test, and his warm up is not over. In fact, it wasn't Yekong who was so slow, he quickly found a confidant. Yekong noticed that, not far from him, there was also a white-faced scholar-like player, who was also moving forward unhurriedly. This person seems to be weaker and thinner than Yekong, and his body is like a big girl. With thin arms and legs, a gust of wind can blow away. Xiaochen is drunk, Yekong immediately thought of the portrait in the booklet. This weak scholar is actually the number 4 seed player, and Xiaochen drunk with thousands of spirits behind him. This person is not simple. Yekong's mind immediately had such an idea. You know, the safest way now is to mingle with the large number of players in front of it. Only real masters dare to place orders. And looking at the boy's unhurried look, he didn't seem to put those spirit beasts in his eyes. Probably felt that Yekong looked at him. Xiaochen drunk also turned his head, grinning at Yekong. The smile was bright, but there was a kind of awe-like sharpness, as if he could see the depth of your mind at a glance. Yekong felt a kind of scalp tingling. What a powerful sense! Yekong also smiled back and looked away. Ah, suddenly a scream in front of him was another unlucky player. He was bitten on the knee by a gold iron beast, and in a hurry he shattered and transmitted the jade charm. In the scream, the man passed back home. Life was saved, but one leg stayed in the beast realm forever. Back at the scene, he resisted the pain, pressed his broken leg with his hand, and bowed to the quartet before leaving. The audience also gave applause without hesitation. Although he failed, he was still a tough guy. However, after losing one leg, he will never be able to participate in the selection of Iron Arm Demon. Seeing the man's fleshy legs, the 3 members of the Yan family couldn't help but squeeze a sweat. They were also watching Yekong, afraid that Yekong would return like this. Wu Xiaoling couldn't help but sigh, this guy, let him not participate. He has to participate. How good is it to practice our strict family skills? Why do you want to join the Iron Arm Demon? It's interesting to train 2 arms into a burning stick. Yan Fenjiun shook his head and said, he is not lacking in cultivation practice. He was also a monk who cultivated himself. Joining the Iron Arm Demon sect will have some plans, but, this test is too risky. Yan Shuai looked at the screen in the middle. She clenched her fists tightly, feeling more nervous than the people in the field. She kept talking to herself, hurry up, there is no spirit beast in front, hurry up. Unexpectedly, a male duck snorted not far away. Oh, don't pass if you can't pass, and whether you can pass the next level. If you lack arms and legs, how can you hook up with a woman in the future? It's a coincidence that this person was the guy Yan Shuai had licked his mouth before the opening. The male duck just sits not far away from them, and at this moment just took the opportunity to vent his anger. You bastard! Yan Shuai only clenched her fists and glared at the man. This is the auditorium. There are the rules of the Iron Arm Demon, not to mention the male duck's voice does not name his name. Yan Shuai can't run to hit people now. She only slammed her heart and shouted, Yekong, come on. Take out your hooligan energy. Let those who despise you shut up. At this moment the players in the canyon have been divided into several echelons. The one who rushed first was Lin Jixing, who came first. At this time he can be described as the limelight, leading the show. Followed by Zheng Tianshun, who rushed out first. Don't look at him, besieged by herd of beasts, It seems that he is walking slowly, but it is not slow. Every step he takes is very stable, one step at a time, one step at a time. The most important thing is that he does not need to avoid the spirit beast, he is walking in a straight line and saves a lot of time. Behind the two, there are hundreds of players. They clung together and marched with the beasts while marching hard. Of course, in the end, the third seed and the fourth seed who were thrown away are the two. They seem to be more like a snail than anyone else, and no one wants to take one more step and go forward in parallel. Commend them when you walk, change words, move. But that changed quickly. When Lin Jixing walked a third of the canyon, suddenly a long and terrifying beast roar came out of the valley. Then the spirit beasts here all responded in unison, and raised their heads and roared. The spirit beasts seemed to convey information in their language. All the players suddenly became nervous. They didn't dare to move forward anymore, holding the weapon in their hands tightly, their eyes turned around vigilantly. Lin Jixing, who had already received inside information, knows that this is an arranged herd. Most players will be sent home here. As long as you pass this section, the next road will be much better. Hurry up. Dash over. Let the herd be my first aid. Lin Jixing immediately speeded up, while a pair of black and red unicorn arms danced faster. His arms were like half of a windmill, and his body was covered by it, the air tightness was blocked, and he kept running forward under his feet. Sure enough, after the roar of the beasts, the spirit beasts in the canyon were all violent. A pair of blood-red eyes glared at the players, banging. They even stepped in neat steps and rushed in line. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 698. Good luck. At this moment, nobody noticed that Yekong and Xiaochen were drunk, and everyone's attention was focused on Lin Jixing and Zheng Tianxun. They are the focus of the field. The first place must be born among them. Lin Jixing waved the unicorn arm, kept on his feet, saw stitches, dodged most spirit beasts, and killed a small number of spirit beasts. He still kept extremely fast. And Zheng Tianxun is even more exciting. He walked all the way, lying on the straight road full of dead beasts, one step at a time, footprints. No amount of spirit beasts can stop me, can't stop my progress. Zheng Tianxun gave a deafening roar. No matter how many spirit beasts came, he still stepped forward and punched again. Unpretentious, extremely fierce, unbeatable punch. In the beast's surge, he still maintained his previous speed. The herd didn't have a big impact on the two in front, but the big crowd on the back had a big impact. The players were rushed away and scattered by the same herd of water, and the herd was very smart to choose each one to break. Those who were just in the crowd and wanted to make a lot of rotten taro can no longer mix. They panicked and smashed the jade charms in their hands. They were afraid that they would never go back if they took a slow step. In the blink of an eye, 200 people appeared on the ring at home. No one laughed at them. As mortals without mana, they had the courage to fight those herds. Of course, more people will not pay attention to them. People pay attention to heroes, first. The knockout will not attract any attention. This is a thrilling kill. Lin Jixing, who first broke through the herd, glanced back and sighed. If you take a slow step, you don't know how long you will be trapped inside. Then the second one who stood out from the crowd was of course Zheng Tianxun. He killed a blood path in the beast. If there were more spirit beasts than anyone else, it was him. Looking at the herd again, the strength is revealed. Those weak players crowded together and worked hard against the herd, but they couldn't move forward. And those players who really have the ability, have shaken off the crowd and slowly moved outside the herd. There are also dozens of such people. It seems that there are still many masters. On the VIP table, Zi Yanlong laughed. Lin Jixing and Zheng Tianxun have basically become the first and the second. Let us see who is the third. Zheng Ahaha laughed. I see that the double-edged sword is very powerful, and he will soon stand out. Lin Weiming shook his head. The one with the water spun is more powerful. It pierces the eyes of the spirit beast. Those blind spirit beasts can also cause chaos. Huang Shishi was attracted by the actions of several people in front of him. At this moment, I suddenly remembered, what about Ye Kong? Huang Shishi's eyes found him struggling to find him, and saw that the boy was still following the bird-like pattern just now. Huang Shishi can't wait to rush over and kick him. Can't you hurry up? Several men noticed Huang Shishi's expression, and Zi Yanlong laughed and said, Mr. Huang, what about the future gardener who paints the sound of Mozong? I can't find any. Haha. Everyone laughed, but when they just opened their mouths, they all saw the expression of seeing a ghost. How did he get there? Huang Shishi then took a hard look. She noticed Ye Kong's slow and careless movement just now, but didn't notice Ye Kong's position. At this moment, Ye Kong has reached the outermost part of the herd, only a step away from Zheng Tianxun in front. How could he be so fast? Everyone on the VIP table was screamed in suspicion. At the same time, a thought came to their minds, he must have cheated. This test is a test of the player's force and endurance. It is forbidden to fly and the use of moving magic instruments and spells is prohibited. Slowly Ye Kong went to the front of most people at once, most likely cheating. At this time, the audience below obviously also noticed this. Someone walked to the forefront of the team. This is very doubtful. To be honest, even Huang Shishi, who is very supportive of Ye Kong, is not convinced. The questioning voice grew louder, and Zi Yanlong immediately ordered, open playback. To say that Yun Yao's development method is really advanced, there is even a picture-in-picture function. At the corner of the big screen, a small screen appeared, and soon, all the actions of someone were redemonstrated. Now everyone shut up. Because, Ye Kong didn't cheat at all. He did come step by step. Someone asked, why is he so slow, so why can he walk in front of most people? Because he didn't hit the spirit beast, he didn't even hit one at all. When others are desperately fighting with the spirit beast, he is still walking slowly. Don't look at his laziness, but there is no delay in a minute. His footwork is also very strange, always can easily walk to the vacuum where there are no spirit beasts, even if there are piles of spirit beasts in front of him, but when he comes, those beasts will not attack him, also make way for him unintentionally. It's strange. Couldn't these spirit beasts see him? Zheng Aida was puzzled. Zi Yanlong shook his head. No, don't you see the two lion and tiger beasts yelling at him? Lin Weiming also speculated, did he use a magical footwork? I heard that these footwork are popular in the secular martial arts. Zi Yanlong still shook his head. There are always rules to follow, but I don't see any rules in his footwork, just walk around. Everyone speculated for a long time and did not reach a conclusion. In the end, there was only one possibility. Zi Yanlong laughed. The Lord Huang really knows how to see treasures. Ecchi is really not a mortal. Fortunately, he is not a mortal. That's right, the reason they concluded is that Ye Kong is so lucky. Shit was lucky, just happened to be empty every time. Zheng Aijin laughed, his luck is more than mortals. Even I and other monks are ashamed. Huang Shishi laughed this time, it's really good luck, and I wonder why he is so lucky. However, Huang Shishi felt that luck was not that simple. This kid must have a story that he didn't know, and his winning expression before was not pretending. Lin Weiming nodded and smiled, it seems that Ecchi is ranked third. This reminds everyone that no matter how good Ye Kong's luck is, it's only the third. No matter what number you are in the casino, as long as it's not the first, you lose. Unfortunately, Yekong is not even the third. When Yekong was about to leave the herd, one couldn't help but saw a white shadow speeding up, one step ahead of Yekong, and rushed out of the herd. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 699. Despicable Gardener. Everyone looked at it. It turned out that Xiaochen was drunk side by side with Yekong. This guy has also been slowly swallowing, side by side with Yekajio, through the herd. But at the last step, he couldn't help it, and rushed out of the herd first. Yekong was a bit slower than him, and the fourth walked out of the herd. Looking at the white shadow in front, Yekong shook his head lightly. Xiaochen drunk, you will always be one step worse than me. The game didn't end here, they only walked halfway and halfway to the portal. Lin Jixing is still killing the quartet at the forefront, giving play to his speed advantage. Zheng Tianshun still tirelessly saw one killing another, not knowing how many spirit beasts died under his fist. The third place, Xiaochenzui, has reached the point of parallel with Zheng Tianshun. His situation was very strange. Many times, he was surrounded by spirit beasts, but his eyes were glared. The spirit beasts seemed to be scared. Yekong, who came in fourth, also accelerated his pace. Unlike the previous ones, the spirit beasts were not blind, but followed Yekong and chased Yekong. It seemed that someone's good fortune had disappeared. He was already a little embarrassed, and ran ahead, more and more spirit beasts behind him. Haha, the gardener seems to be unable to support it. Lin Weiming couldn't help laughing. I don't know how far he can go, Zi Yanlong groaned. Looking at Yekong's appearance, Huang Shishi was nervous again. Is this kid really just lucky? Obviously, it's not that easy. At this time, Xiaochen drunk had surpassed Zheng Tianshun. When he meets a spirit beast, he just stares. The rate of staring is faster than punching, right? So Xiaochen Zuo surpassed Zheng Tianshun and came to the second position. Zheng Tianshun looked at the back of Xiaochen drunk, bit his thick lips, bowed his head and slammed. To say that the honest man is really better than the slipper this year, not only is Xiaochen drunk, but even a fake genius has stumbled past it. Of course, he also has 700 or 800 various beasts behind him. Lin Weiming's expression on the VIP table was still so happy, but Zheng Ao's face rose. To say that this test, of course, Zheng Tianshun is the most effective, and he kills the most beasts. The abominable thing is that Xiaochen was drunk and Yekong, none of the spirit beasts were killed, and even his fists were not out. I ran to Zheng Tianshun in this way, which was really disappointing. But having said that, it is now who is coming first than who is killing. Zheng Ao couldn't say anything, only whispered in his heart, hoping that the two in front would be in trouble. To say that trouble really found Xiaochen drunk, not natural disaster but human disaster. The stumbling genius obviously didn't leave. Don't look at him crooked, but every time he is shocked, and a group of spirit beasts follows him, and he stumbles into another group of spirit beasts. Finally, Yekong caught up with Xiaochenzui, and then stumbled away. Of course, the thousands of spirit beasts that followed him were also given to Xiaochenzui without reservation. Looking at the layers and layers of black beasts, Xiaochen was drunk. He used a kung fu deterrent to the Yuan Shen, so when he stared, the spirit beast was afraid and fled. However, his eyes are not machine guns. 1 or 2 are fine, and 3 or 5 are still alive. There are thousands of them at once, and it is not enough for him to have eyes all over his body. SHH, numerous spectators whistled and applauded at the scene and down the mountain. Express their indignation at someone's treacherous behavior. Too cunning. Too shameless. How can a man be so shameless? The male duck screamed loudest. I don't think he is a genius at all. He is a hooligan. The 3 Yan families echoed in unison, yes, he was a hooligan. Morning drunk brother, sorry, don't carry it. You should cherish your life and stay away from the spirit beast, A hooligan still expressed his apology. Shameless, a roar erupted from the herd. Xiao Chen's drunk kung fu is suitable for solo fighting alone. In the face of so many beasts, I am afraid that it is necessary to shatter and transfer the jade amulets. Regardless of Lin Jixing's stride forward, he also pays attention to the back. When Ye Kong found that he was following him, he couldn't help humming. By these shameless tricks, you still want to surpass me? Humph, I make you super. Lin Jixing then slowed down, waiting for Ye Kong to catch up. Lin Jixing already knew the distribution of spirit beasts here. Before the portal, there was another barrier, which was a belt of spirit beasts, a thick layer of spirit beasts, densely packed, and it was impossible to mix them. The idea of Lin Jixing is, aren't you speculative? Okay, I let you fight. I see how you get there. So he stopped at the edge of the canyon, one step away from the portal, but Lin Jixing didn't leave. He waited for Ye Kong to break through the layers of spirit beasts in front of him. These golden iron beasts seem to be tacit. They will never take the initiative to attack, but they will be crowded in the doorway waiting for your attack. But if you really break into it, then you will be miserable. You will be caught in the sea of people's war. There are spirit beasts everywhere. Just like the tide, kill one piece and add another piece. It really costs you to charge a lot of effort. Soon Ye Kong arrived. Lin Jixing, holding the unicorn arm, smiled at Ye Kong, and crooked at the herd in front of him. It means, buddy, I have a good chance for you, you go first. But someone also smiled back and then spread his hands. Brother can't help it? Lin Jixing smiled. Load. You keep loading. Let Lao Zi take the lead, no way. Lin Jixing stood and counted the ants, and said in his mouth, wow, they are all big ants. I like to catch them when I was young. Someone seems to be suffering and suffering, twisting his waist and singing, left 3 circles, right 3 circles, neck twists. All the audience fainted. No one had thought of such a situation. Seeing that the portal was right in front of him, both seed players were on strike, one catching an ant, and the other twisting there. Did you come to try today? But there are also happy. Zheng Ao was refreshed. They do Antigo, that's the best. My family Zheng Tianshun will not push it away. When he comes, let him advance. Obviously, the 2 people standing on the ground also understood the problem. Ye Kong laughed, brother Ji Xing, if you don't go in, Zheng Tianshun will be number 1. Lin Jixing yelled, what are you afraid of? It's not the last match anyway. It doesn't matter who is the first in this level. Ye Kong laughed. I don't care then. Although Lin Jixing said lightly, he was still very unwilling. After all, he fought for a long time and finally gave the first to others, which is really unacceptable. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 770 Past the First Pass. Seeing that Zheng Tianshun was getting closer, Lin Jixing finally couldn't hold back. While Ye Kong didn't notice, he suddenly pulled out a slashing sword and waved the sword. 1 man and 1 sword. This Lin Jixing is indeed a wizard. At a young age, he has practiced worldly martial arts to the top. Lin Jixing's body and Dao Guang were united into one body. After being cut off with 1 stroke, the group of gold and iron beasts immediately opened a gap. Lin Jixing displayed the combination of man and knife, but did not want to fight with Jin Taiju. His figure and knife light were integrated into one, and knife light broke through, and his body followed. He cast it while Ye Kong wasn't paying attention, but someone stared at him early. When he moved, someone followed. Ye Kong, who was just lazy just now, has disappeared, and his whole body is full of strength. The slow motion just now turned into lightning fast. This is his true speed. Almost scary. The real speed of Ye Kong's outbreak, though it was only a moment, but everyone on the VIP seat saw it. They are all true monarchs. How can they be so foolish? Zi Yanlong's eyes brightened, and he sighed, I can't think Ecchi's acting skills are so high, I almost got confused. Zheng Ao also nodded. If he really exerts his best, I'm afraid he won first. Lin Weiming snorted, it is a pity that the character is too bad, and the lack of morality brings smoke. Huang Shishi was happy this time, and laughed, Elder Lin, what are you anxious, isn't Lin Jixing still the first? Lin Jixing and Ye Kong arrived at the same time. According to the rules of the game, they were tied first. Lin Weiming didn't feel good, Ji Xing exerted so much effort, but the boy did not exert any effort. It was so bad. Lin Jixing and Ye Kong transmitted back to the home at the same time, and the audience cheered loudly. Someone is so shameless, a spirit beast has not been killed, and his fist has not even come out, so he can take the first place? Too unfair. Lin Jixing, who was taken advantage of by Ye Kong, had a smile on his mouth and hugged his arm. Ye Kaizi, I heard nothing. Those boos are for you. Ye Kong's eyes flickered, and he smiled slightly, what are you doing with me? Since they are not optimistic about me, I don't need to please them. It looks like you're not well connected. Well, it's fine for a woman. This is true. Lin Jixing smiled, and squinted at Ye Kong, coldly, I don't know when I can see Ye Kai's true strength. Ye Kong also looked at him with a smile, rest assured, I will give you a happy life. It didn't take long for Zheng Tianshun to appear. He really killed him all the way. There was no speculation. His whole body was dripping with blood, all of which was the blood of a spirit beast. Different from the scene where the two men just came in, everyone gave thunderous applause this time. Zheng Tianshun didn't speak, took a boxing fist, and stood beside Ye Kong. Thank you, Zheng Tianshun whispered. Ye Kong froze, his heart said, what did he thank me for? But then I remembered that if it wasn't for Xiaochen drunk himself, Zheng Tianshun would be the fourth. You're welcome. I'm not helping you, I'm helping myself. Zheng Tianshun also said, but if I meet in the second pass, I won't let you. Ye Kong laughed. This Zheng Tianshun is really very kind. Well, this person can make friends. I like to make friends with real people. I don't need you to let me, and I won't let you. Even if you let me win, I won't be honorable. To win, I will win honestly. I completely forgot the despicableness just now. Regarding, Lin Jixing immediately gave contempt with his eyes. However, Zheng Tianshun seemed to be very useful, cracking his mouth and nodding with a smile. Waiting for another moment, the fourth player who cleared the level appeared. Appearing in the middle of the home court, Xiao Chen was drunk by Ye Kong, and saw that he was all blood and walking stubbornly. Obviously, he was not badly injured. This surprised Ye Kong a little bit. He had thought that the kid must not be able to withstand the attacks of so many beasts, but he didn't expect that the kid persisted. It seems that this man not only has some strength, but also has a strong mind and would rather be injured do not retreat. Ye talented man, really good means, Xiao Chen drunk came over, still angry in his words. Good to say, I didn't expect brother Xiao's strength to be so extraordinary. I hope that in the next level of competition, we can get on the round earlier. Xiao Chen drunk and hummed drunkly, so he would no longer care about Ye Kong. After a while, the players came one after another. However, basically all of them came with injuries. It seems that this way is not so easy. There is no such thing as a whole body like yes somebody, all of them are dripping with blood. This concludes the first test. There were more than 1,200 players, more than 1,100 were eliminated, and several died in the canyon of the beast world. They buried their beasts and left no bones. At the end of the competition, there were still more than 100. That's the end of the day's test. After all, it's not as easy as yet to pass the level. The injured players must be trained and adjusted. The second test is set to be held 3 days later. The second level of the competition was to catch and kill the drums in the face of the gongs. Lin Jixing, Zheng Tianshun and Xiao Chen were drunk. They were all looking forward to meeting someone early. Lin Jixing let him take advantage, and Xiao Chen drunk him a big loss, so he couldn't wait to have a chance to teach this dog thing. After this test, all the people in the iron painting realm reacquainted with this great talent. I heard about his hooligan name, and now he finally knows it. It is indeed hooligan and despicable. After everyone's indignation, he began to remember the spirit stone that was hung in the city well. Who will come first? But don't be that mean hooligan talent. In these 3 days, I don't know how many monks can't sleep. The demon in the market is also very cunning, not only earning spiritual stones, but also mortal silver. Immediately after the first pass, a new market for gold and silver betting was opened. It is different from the previous Lingxi betting. Although the stinky rogue is despised by people, the popularity has indeed come up. Many people are optimistic about him, and many mortals come to take a bet. Unlike those gamblers, what all players are most worried about is the announcement of the match table. Almost all players want to be separated from Yekong. After all, based on their strength, they couldn't see the bottom of Yekong at all, and they all thought that Yekong was just luck, so they all wanted to be a hero, and flatten this despicable villain in public. Similarly, what they are most afraid of is to be in the same group as Zheng Tianshun. This kid is just a fighting lunatic. Think of his iron fist of mammoth spirit beast. While Ye was very leisurely on the surface, he was also waiting for the announcement of the match table. You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 701. 71 Pair Arrangement. 2 days later. Appetite Building, 4th floor. Yekong has been despised everywhere he went recently, so he can only go to the mouth and belly floor to drink, and here is quiet, at least no one despised him with his eyes. In fact, he had brought Xianxia to drink on the 5th floor, but Huang Shishi was downstairs. I heard that Yekong was on top, so he called somebody down. Yekong, what do you think of the demon method you are using? Why are spirit beasts calling to you without biting you? Huang Shishi lay on the table curiously, her eyes staring at Yekong. I also intentionally blinked, it was very touching. Come on, elder sister, you will seduce me when my wife is by your side. You are really coquettish. Someone smiled and said, Sister Shishi, I can't answer this question, I guess you're going to ask those spirit beasts. Yes, Huang Shishi sat upright and giggled, and the melon trembled someone's heart. Huang Shishi went on to say, actually you don't tell me, I know it. Yekong just used a little trick to hang the neodon of the ancient Hong Huang beast around his neck. Those spirit beasts felt the breath of the ancient Hong Huang beast. How dare they make it? When he attracted the spirit beast to attack, he put neodon into the storage ring again. You know? Then talk about it. Yekong believed Huang Shishi would not know. Huang Shishi laughed, because those spirit beasts are all mothers, they are convinced by the graceful manners of Ecchi, so they dare not attack you. Giggle. Yeah, that's the case. Thanks to Shishi for teaching me. Yekong also said haha. He felt that Huang Shishi was rogue enough, and he had a common language with him. However, Yekong didn't dare to mess around with his ideas. This Huang Shishi was not only very high caliber, but also very savvy. Every time he tried to seduce himself, he wanted to be fooled. Really cheap won't let him occupy it, so he just joked with Huang Shishi. Keep the distance. Looking at them getting more and more outrageous, Xianxia could only look out the window without seeing her heart. When Xianxia was feeling weak, She listened to Lin Zixin's voice outside. "Brother Ye, the match table is announced." Looking at the match table, Ye Kong felt that some people really didn't have long eyes. His first game was impressively against Zhou Bin. Maybe someone can't remember it? Zhou Bin is the friend of Chen Zhanhu. They are deliberately trying to sacrifice Ye. This time they were really active. Since it was delivered to the door, Ye Kong was naturally not very kind to the boy. But then again, even if he changed someone else, would he be polite to others? Match table. In the first game, Lin Zixing confronted Wang Haoan. In the second game, Zheng Tianshun played against Zhang Yuding. In the third game, Xiao Chen was drunk against Li Xiangjun. Game 4. In the eighth game, Ye Kong played against Zhou Bin. In fact, Ye Kong should have appeared in the second game, but the person who seemed to be iron painting had a very low opinion of someone, so he threw him to the eighth game. However, Ye Kong is very indifferent. The eighth game is still a good prize. Eighth, hair, this is what makes me develop. Lin Zixin said, in fact, this Yuding is still the daughter of an acquaintance. Who knew that Zheng Tianshun was met in the first game? Ye Kong asked, few women join Iron Arm Demon. Lin Zixin shouted, is it because there is no spiritual root? Huang Shishi laughed, it doesn't matter if there is no spiritual root, then we can join us to paint the magic demon. You voicing demon sect, they have only one daughter. Lin Zixin's meaning is obvious. A daughter is waiting to recruit a daughter-in-law. If you enter the voicing demon sect, you can't have children, then the incense is broken? Huang Shishi nodded and said, yeah, it's really troublesome without spiritual roots. Although there are many demons that do need spiritual roots, they have to pay a certain price after joining. In fact, it's good to join the Iron Arm demons. Make your arms thicker. Lin Zixin also nodded, in fact, there are no spiritual roots, those spiritual roots are also very difficult, even if many mixed spiritual roots have entered various demons, the future development is very difficult, although the method of cultivation is special, but it also requires spiritual roots. Hearing that, Ye Kong doesn't matter. But Yan Shuai was upset. Yeah, she's the root of the 5 elements. She built the foundation with the elixir left by her grandfather. But what about the future? It is really difficult to make a breakthrough in the future, it is completely impossible to enter the middle of building a base. In this way, isn't it a life like a person who does cultivate immortals? Then everyone talked about the table. Everyone agreed that there was no suspense in the first 2 games, and Xiao Chen was a little bit troublesome in the third game. It is more than enough to deal with ordinary mortal warriors. However, Ye Kong didn't take it for granted this Xiao Chen drunk is a bit of a doorway, not so weak as imagined, he should easily win. However, other people disagreed, thinking that Xiao Chen's Wei was not injured badly, and I am afraid it will be difficult to recover. Coincidentally, when everyone went downstairs, they met Zhang Yuding and her father on the 2nd floor. Ye Kong looked at this little Nizai, and she looked really good. Petite full body, big watery eyes, with some tenderness in his eyes, the pitiful appearance makes it impossible to shoot. Girls naturally have this kind of advantage, especially girls like Zhang Yuding, the man doesn't want to protect them, and especially the young and restless boys like Ye Kong, even if Ye does not understand the pity of Xianxia, he can't bear such a heavy hand. What's more, the petite but full body, where the drum is, the concave place is concave, even if you extend your hand, where do you hit? Chest. Too indecent. Belly. Too shameless. Kick. It's so sad. Thinking of this, Ye Kong could not help shaking his head. I really don't understand pity and cherish the jade. In the face of such a beautiful woman, I wondered where I should hit a punch. Looking at Ye Kong's expression, Huang Shishi thought that someone had moved his mind and laughed, "Ye talented man, his eyes have fallen off." Suddenly, a sting came from Ye Kong's arm. It was really unexpected. Xianxia's hand was just like a woman on earth. Where, I wonder why she fought with Zheng Tianxun. Lin Zixin laughed, you don't have to worry about it, she can pass the first level safely, it is not so ordinary. It is also said that those beasts don't care if you look good or not, this girl has a little ability to pass the first level. It seems that it is not enough to rely on the face alone. But, which part of Zheng Tianxun would shoot such a moving girl? The Mad Cultivator. Author, Xianxia. Chapter 702. 702 First Game. Linjixing. 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 To say that Linjixing's popularity is really high in Taihua realm. The onlookers around the ring have shouted in unison before the first match. The local meaning is something that every human being is born with. As a native iron painting artist, it is reasonable for the audience to give such enthusiasm. There are 15 games a day, 5 each in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Ye did not play in the morning and did not want to come, but was pulled by Xianxia because he knew himself. The key is that everyone is still not assured of Ye, thinking that if he loses his cultivation, the skin is not thick and the meat is not thick, it is really difficult to give everyone confidence. The contestants had special seats, so when they came out of the ring, Ye Kong separated from the Yan family and walked to the corner of the audience alone. As the first game, it really attracted people's attention. There were no fewer people than in the first stage, and all of them looked very excited. A lot of people have come in the box for the players. As soon as Ye Kong entered, he saw Zheng Tianxun and Xiao Chen drunk. Brother Zheng, brother Xiao, you came very early. Ye Kong took a fist and walked over. Zheng Tianxun was still so stubborn and smiled, brother Ye has come, sit here. Xiao Chen's injury has completely recovered, but he still remembers being Ye Kongjian once, and he snorted, Ecchi is so lucky, of course, it doesn't matter. We are not so lucky, only the stupid bird flies first now. Stupid bird? No, I think you are very clever. Absolutely a clever bird, a superb bird. Yema hesitated, and did not know whether it was praise or curse. I hope you will be so lucky when we meet on the field. Xiao Chen drunk, moved a few positions away, not sitting with a shameless hooligan. Someone avoided him, but someone posted it, a fragrant wind, and a moving body sitting next to Ye Kong. Sitting down, he crossed a woman's erlang leg. Suddenly, the eyes of many animals attracted them, but when they saw that this woman was the lord of the demon of painting and sound, all of them looked back. It was Yuanying's great consummation, and he wiped them with his finger. Sister Shishi, don't you have a VIP seat? Yema frowned. Now it is a public place. I have already shared a scandal with Li Qingxuan. Coupled with Huang Shishi, I do know what it will be. Huang Shishi was very indifferent and lost a seductive gaze. Why? Afraid your wife would go back and spank you. Ye Kong is speechless, and it really is a female hooligan, let's shut up. As they said, they saw that the battlefield below rose to protect the formation, which prevented the battle in the formation from reaching the audience. However, it is superfluous. These players are not great monks, and they can't be affected. An old man with the iron-armed demon stood in the center and said, the first game, Linjixing, Wang Hoan. Linji Xing. Linji Xing, the audience were all in full swing, and Linji Xing also stepped onto the field with confidence in cheering. Wang Hoan is a middle-aged man, not tall, with a mustache. At this moment he was desperately dying. How could he be so moldy? When he appeared on the court, he met the winner. Zheng Tianxun said, don't underestimate Wang Hoan. I heard that this family has been working for Poison Plague Demon Sect for many generations. He is proficient in making poison and releasing poison, which makes people accidentally recruit. Ye Kong shook his head and said, this kind of poisoning is to take advantage of people's unpreparedness and act secretly. He has to finish before he even plays, how can he win? Sure enough, at the beginning of the field, Wang Hoan used poison. When he raised his hand, the grey mist sprayed out, wrapping all of Lin Jixing's figure. Wang Hoan laughed, "Lin Jixing, although you are superior in force, the two unicorn arms are even scared by ordinary monks, but you met me, Wang Hoan." But his voice did not fall, and he saw a sudden upsurge in the mist. Then, the mist rotated regularly. Then, he saw Lin Jixing's two black and red arms rotating like a pinwheel. The airflow drove all the poisonous mist scattered. The audience immediately became excited and shouted, "Lin Jixing! Lin Jixing!" Wang Hoan was not in a hurry, and laughed, "You hit my soft feet, you still have less energy. Now you feel dizzy and dizzy." Lin Jixing sneered, "No, I just feel energetic and I have a lot of energy in my body. I can eat a few more bowls at noon." "Impossible, is it because I used the wrong medicine?" Wang Hoan took out another medicine bottle and said, "Then change it." This is a 3-day laugh with laughter. Even if the monk smells it, he will win. But unexpectedly, Lin Jixing also yanked out a pill bottle. "This is the cure for all kinds of poisons. What poisons you use are just useless." Wang Hao's face suddenly died, but he didn't want to give up, took the spun lace from behind, and wanted to fight desperately. But how could Lin Jixing's force value be scared of him? The weapons were useless. He caught Wang Hao's water spine empty-handed, his eyes flashed with a sneer, and the iron head ran into it. Bang! Wang Hoan had a long nosebleed. Lin Jixing once again kicked Wang Hoan directly. "In the face of sufficient strength, your tricks are just jokes." Lin Jixing dropped the water spun lace and raised his arms to the cheering crowd. In the first game, Lin Jixing won easily. Soon, Zheng Tianxun went down to prepare. Lin Jixing, with his upper body and black and red arms, walked into the box, smiled at the crowd, and then sat where Zheng Tianxun had just sat. "Yekaze, am I still handsome?" Lin Jixing smugly said. Ye Kong glanced at him, "If you wear another sheet behind me, I promise you will be more handsome." "This is a good idea." Lin Jixing nodded and said again, "This is Zheng Tianxun to Zhang Yuding, right? Alas, this is a difficult fight. If I were, I really couldn't play." Ye Kong laughed, "It's not like everyone will take the initiative to give in." Huang Shishi laughed, "Only you can't." Ye Kong stunned, "Who said that? I am very pity for the fragrance." Huang Shishi laughed, "Yeah, but the beautiful woman first gave up when she saw you." Everyone laughed. But Zheng Tianxun was ridiculous. The second game, Zheng Tianxun, Zhang Yuding. Following the announcement of the law enforcement elders, the contest began. Zhang Yuding is not only small and beautiful, she has practiced martial arts since childhood. Although she has no spiritual roots, her family has found countless worldly top martial arts to practice for her. What she uses most is a set of swords called wind dance. Zhang Yuding steps gently, her sword slowly dances. It seems that there is no power, but in fact it is a fake move. As long as you have a contempt or praise, her sword move will be sharp. If this sword trick is used to deal with spirit beasts, it is estimated to have little effect, but for humans, men, especially young men like Zheng Tianxun, they have extremely powerful power. In the face of such light singing, even the mighty Iron Fist Zheng Tianxun couldn't help hesitating. To the reader, it will break out tomorrow, Chapter 8. Haha, it's not enough. Xiaoman continues to work hard, everyone continues to support it. Oh, let's say that some people say that progress is slow, and some people say that it is procrastination. In fact, Xiaoman thinks that progress is too fast and it is easy to have a running account. However, since everyone said, Xiaoman is as good. Well, tomorrow's competition will be upgraded, and soon, the repair will resume tomorrow. Explore the unknown Mozong, Yunyeo, Kangming as soon as possible.